So I joined Salesforce in the month of October last year after spending around 2 years at Amazon as an SD1. I joined Salesforce as a member of technical staff, MTS, which you can loosely relate to SD2 of other companies. If you want to know about how my Salesforce interview experience was and what were the rounds that I had to go through to crack this offer, I would highly recommend you to go and check out my Salesforce interview experience video after watching this video. I will attach the link to it in the description down below. And in this video, I'm going to talk about my journey at Salesforce as a software engineer. Now let's take a look at the contents of this video. What are the things I'm going to touch upon. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the product on which I was working on. Second is what was my role and day-to-day responsibilities. I will also talk about the work-life balance at Salesforce. How was the work culture? How was my manager and my peers? I'm also going to talk about the work from home situation in Salesforce right now. I will also touch upon some of the perks in Salesforce, so it's going to be a separate video altogether. What are the challenges I faced over there, layoffs, and is Salesforce going to hire anytime soon? So we are going to talk all about this in this video, and without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, so first let's talk about the product on which I was working on at Salesforce. So I was working on a product called CDP, that is the Customer Data Platform. Now it's a very big product to talk about at length, and I can make a separate video on this. But for now, I will just try to explain you all loosely that what does that product do. Okay, now let me take a very simple example and talk about this particular brand which has a physical store of selling their products, and also they have built an app in which you can order their products online. Say Raj goes to the physical store and buy one of their products, and while billing, he gives the contact information with some email address and some phone number, right? And he comes back home and he again wants to buy some of their products, and this time he doesn't go to the physical store. Instead, he prefers to order those items online via their app. Now while logging in, he gives a separate email ID. Now can you understand what is happening over here? The person is saying he's Raj, his identity is saying, but he has two different email IDs. So how would the company understand that, hey, these two email addresses belong to the same person? That's one of the things the Salesforce CDP platform solves. Now there are various complex scenarios that can arise, but I'm just giving you a very, very small example to make you understand. So what Salesforce CDP loosely does is, they bring the data from multiple sources under one roof, basically ingest the data, right? And then they unify the data with some logic, okay? And the unification is what I just taught. And once the data is unified, then you can work on the data, the companies can work on the data, apply some filtering logic to figure out that who are the target customers, and basically they get data insights for their particular customer, understand the customer preferences, and do a lot of things with that. Now again, let's take an example. Let's say Reebok, a famous shoe brand, is going to launch one of the new shoes this month. Now will they go on sending an email to all of their customers and spam them? No. They would ideally want to filter out and target the right audience. Now one of the filtering logic can be that, hey, give me the customers who have searched for a shoe on our portal. Or maybe it can be like, hey, give me the list of customers who has bought a shoe in the last 15 days. And they ideally would not want to send the emails to those particular customers, because the reason is very simple. Customers who have bought a shoe within the last 15 or 30 days so are less likely to buy again a new shoe. So there's not much point in sending them that email. So these are the things that you can do with the data, because you all know that data is very powerful. And once you bring all the data for a particular customer under one place, that is going to be extremely beneficial for that particular organization. Okay, so now let's talk about the role that I had. So I didn't spend much time in Salesforce, I would say, but still my role was of a backend developer, where Java was the primary technology that was being used. Also, I used to get some UI tasks as well, and the UI was mostly on MWC. Also, there were a lot of usages of big data, but me and our team didn't get a chance to directly work with it. And initially, to get started off and to get acclimatized with the product, I was given to do a lot of bug fixes, right? So that I can understand what the product is doing before I actually moved on to start working on a new feature. So that was basically the plan that the manager had. Now let's talk about the work-life balance. Generally in Salesforce, people think that there is not much work, and to be honest, it's kind of true. I've seen a lot of things when there is not much work, right? But in our particular team, in our CDP, most of the teams, we had a lot of work, and I actually seen people working a lot, which was, I think, good in a way. But still, since I was an engineer from Amazon, I was coming from that Amazon background with most of a hectic work-life balance, I would say I still found pandemic chill, right? I won't say that we had no work. We had decent amount of work, but still I would say it was now very close near to Amazon. So it was, I think, good in a way, where you can learn but also not take too much pressure. Apart from that, I was lucky in a way where it didn't have on-calls. I used to have at Amazon, but lately our team all just started on-call. I would say the pressure is still again on the lower side if you compare it with Amazon. But again, it's not that it's very, very chill. Now let's talk about the work culture in my team. And when I talk about work culture, I mostly mean my manager, directors, and my team peers. So let's talk about the manager first, because I didn't get a lot of chance to interact with the directors. I think my manager at Salesforce was one of the best managers I worked under. And trust me, I worked under a lot of managers under a couple of teams. And these two managers will always be very close to my heart. One, which I got in Amazon, in my second team, which I already talked about in one of my videos. But I talked about it, why I left Amazon. And then this manager, she was very, very supportive and always at my back. She was always approachable and always helped me out. I think these are the true qualities of a good manager. And I never felt, intimidated at any point, because this product and this domain was completely new to me. And I had initially had a very tough time to understand. And also the fact was, in Amazon, you had proper documentations and all these things. I didn't find those things in Salesforce. It was very hard in a way to ramp up as well. So my manager really, really helped me a lot in that. She understood my predicaments and she gave me that proper guidance. So yeah, I was very grateful to get a manager like her. I think one of the most sweetest and best managers I worked under. Talking about the team members and peers, I would say it's a mixed bag. Though I got really, really great team members who were really, really helpful. There were times when a couple of them sat with me in the evening or late night to help me figure out the problems that I was having. And yeah, overall it's been a great experience and Salesforce. I'm talking about the work from home situation. So it's a bit messed up, I would say. I would talk about my team. I'm not sure what other teams have been. So basically in our org, what used to happen was, initially it was been told when I first joined that, hey, we would meet every month for 2 consecutive days and we would let you know on the dates 2 months prior. Okay. So let's say if you want to meet on February, you would get the dates in by December. So then you can plan your travel. Because obviously, when you are just meeting your team for 2 days a month, right? And that too consecutively, it doesn't make any sense to, stay in Bangalore and go to office just for those 2 days. It just doesn't make any sense. So that's why people were mostly expected to travel from their place, work from home for the rest of the month and travel for those 2 days. Now, it might seem a bit exciting for especially work from home enthusiast guys, but all I want to say is it is not a great thing to have or a great position to be at in terms of finances. Because even if you want to go to Bangalore, if you're someone from Delhi or if you're someone from Kolkata, right, you have to book a flight which will cost around 40,000-50,000 rupees, and then there is this 2-3 days hotel, right, and you can't manage a French place in Bangalore. So that cost roughly came around 20,000 with all the food and all those things. So it is pretty much similar to staying in Bangalore for a month. So that was a bit challenging, and that's when we came up with the idea of meeting 10 days consecutively every quarter. So there were a couple of things that were going on, and no one really sure that what's the thing that's going to follow. And also there was this no compulsion at all to go to office. I guess not that it would come every month, because I remember I went in February for the first time, because January I was not there. I was off to Thailand on a trip. And then I went to February. I just met my manager and a couple of my team members. My mentor didn't turn up. And next month when I went in March, I was bemused to find none of my team members out there, right? And then I sat with the sales to try to work. It was a pretty weird experience. And from there, I didn't go again. Also, the challenging part, if I want to come to that was since I was working on a product which we didn't have much idea about, there were not much enough documentations on it. It was pretty hard to ramp up. I would say all the enough time was given for it, but still, I felt that if I go to office and if I could meet my mentors and other peers, it would have been easier for me to get the doubts resolved faster. Because when you're working from home and you don't have much idea about the product, you're replying, texting people, and you're not getting the reply back because most of the time they're busy, and that's a very common case in all work from home situations. It becomes very hard, to speed up the process and to ramp up things quicker. So that's why I always wanted to go to office and work, especially till a time when I feel that I'm now independent enough, or I understand the product well, is to work independently. For the layoffs part, Salesforce did some layoffs, 10% of the workforce, even software engineers were affected back in January. One of my close friends also got affected. Later on, he got a match in Salesforce itself, so he's currently at Salesforce. But yeah, it was a crazy situation for me. I remember I was in Thailand, and suddenly I was in my hotel with my friends chilling out, and then suddenly I get this message from my friend, and he's like, he's laid off, and I was like immediately, taking a back, flashback to check my email from my corporate phone, and then if I'm lucky, I've been there. Post that, I think in February, they had a sales layoff as well. No engineers were affected, and post that, I don't think there has been any layoff news that I've heard in the companies. Apart from that, the thing is that there's been major cost cutting that is going on in the company. Like for example, in the last few months, we haven't gone for any trips or stuff, right? Having said that, we are going to hire soon. I'm not sure about that. That's what my manager said, that most probably in August, again, I'm not sure, there's no confirmation, but most probably in August, the data team is again going to hire. So, you can go and check out the Salesforce period. But just don't come to me for referral because I might not be there till that time. And just one thing I would like to say, after these layoffs and all these things happen, don't put any company on any particular pedestal, be it Google, be it Amazon, be it Salesforce, because I have now bought all these brands right now. I also got a couple of other offers as well from Goldman Sachs and Media and a couple of other companies. Just want to say that these brands are great. These are good companies to work for. The brands looks great on a resume, especially if you're coming from a Tier 3 college. But yeah, I don't let any of these things go into my head because you never know where the future lies, and who knows, can we not be the next. So I always remain dependent on these things, and my aim obviously is to become a better and better software engineer as I go. I know I have a lot of things to learn and grow. I don't consider myself as a great software engineer right now, but yeah, I would definitely try to be one, and let's see what the future holds. Anyway, I think that's it for the videos. Video is already gone too long, and I don't want to talk about the perks at Salesforce, but there's going to be a separate videos. There's a lot of perks at Salesforce, and it would take a time to explain all of them. Maybe I would make a separate video on that if you want to know. And I think let's end the video here. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've shared all my experiences as much as I could in this video. And I'll see you in some other video. Till then, guys, stay safe and goodbye. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that every time I upload a new video, you are notified. And it also helps me to stay motivated. Thank you. Bye-bye.